It's Professor Davis, and this is the first of a 3 proof of concept series on how to take a health statistics class using a $35 computer. Well, and that is all based on this computer. It's in this box. It's called the MK802, and this is an Android-based computer, so let me show you what it looks like, and then we'll take a look at some of the features of it. So here it is, out of the box, and notice here it kind of looks like a USB card, a little bit bigger than that. So let me kind of walk around the edges of it and show you how it gets hooked up. First, if you look on this end, that end has a mini HDMI port. So that will hook up into a computer. That's a computer monitor or a television. Probably more likely you'd use a television with it. So in order to do that, you need a cable that comes in the box. So that is a HDMI cable, and on the other end, here it is, it's a mini HDMI port. That fits right into there. We'll do that in just a minute. And then we have to be able to hook some stuff up to it, right? We have to be able to hook up a keyboard and a mouse. And in order to do that, we have a couple ports for that. So if we look on the other end, we see a full HDMI port. There it is. And so we can hook up a mouse to that. And then there's another port on the other side here. That's a mini USB port, sometimes called an OTG or on-the-go port. And in order to hook things up to it, if you have something that's full USB size, we have this adapter, and that hooks up this mini USB to a full-size USB. So we'll do that in a minute. And then one more thing we're going to need power. And to run the power to it, if you take a look right here beside the USB port, there's a little hole that takes this charger cable, and that's a 5-volt 2-amp charger. So let's go ahead and hook things up and see how it works here. So first we want to go ahead and take our keyboard and hook it up. So we'll grab the receiver for it. Now I happen to have a wireless keyboard and mouse. You certainly don't have to have a wireless keyboard and mouse yourself. A wired one will work just fine. So I put the USB receiver into the adapter, and now I'll hook that into the OTG port. And then on the other end where the USB is, I'll put the mouse receiver. Mouse plugs in there. And then the mini HDMI so we can see what we're doing. And then finally we'll go ahead and power it up by plugging in the power. So there it is. So there's the whole unit ready to go. You see the little red indicator light, meaning it's fired up. Now while we're doing that, I just wanted to show you one more peripheral that could go with this. Let's say you don't want to use a keyboard and a mouse like the traditional setup that you would have with a PC. Let's say you want to have something that's more handheld. I also found this little mini keypad, and that's about 20 bucks. And let me also mention before I forget, all the links to the MK802 and this mini keypad you'll find if you look down below where it says see more. I have all the links there for it. But this just hooks up with a single USB, and it has a little trackpad on it here, so you can use that kind of like it is your mouse. You can tap on it to tap, and it has the full keyboard on it, so you can use that too. So if you're more used to this kind of thing, using maybe with a cell phone where you're used to using your thumbs for a keypad, that might be a good alternative. Alright, so there it is. Now it's fired up, and this is the Android ice cream sandwich version, and that's the Android 4.0. So notice here that this is the startup screen. Notice that if you take a look, it has the full Google Play Store. Let me show you the apps that we have in here for it. There they are. So some of these we'll use to do the statistics, and some of them are just built into it automatically. So go ahead and click on the home screen here and get back to where we were. So that's the initial setup. Again, you can use the keypad or you can use a mouse and a keyboard. That's probably you probably have something like that around the house. So the things we'll need is the MK802, the television, and hook it up with a HDMI port. Any kind of flat screen TV will do. And the other thing you'll need is Wi-Fi, because if you have an online course, you'll certainly have to have an internet connection. So the first step here, you would want to get things set up and then download some apps, and let me show you what those would be for the class, and we'll take a look at these more in part 2. So let me scroll over here to the screen, and first you want to download a little bit higher end browser than the typical Android browser that comes stock. And so I've downloaded Google Chrome and also downloaded Firefox. And the other thing I've downloaded here is YouTube. So that's the end of part 1. In part 2 we'll talk about how we go ahead and use these apps for our Statistics Online course.